Well, hello, Mr. Taras. And goodbye, off he goes. To enjoy another day of living wild at heart here at the Wildcat Sanctuary. Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday. Happy hump day. Happy hump day to you, Taras. Do you know what hump day is? That means we're halfway through the week. He says, I'm about halfway through growing my mane. Hello, welcome everybody. Happy Wednesday. You're tuned into the Wildcat Sanctuary, forever home for rescued wildcats in need. Doing what a wildcat would do, being destructive, being curious, doing exactly what we expect him, and we encourage that type of behavior, goofball. Hey everyone, glad to be back here on a live post. Kimberly Capshock, what a cool last name. Good morning, Sherry V. Kristen Hertz watching. Let's see who else is here. Oh, hello, miss. Is that Stephania? Is that Lacia? Let me get a closer look at this pretty lioness here. As you would imagine, it's easy to identify Taras as he's the only male of the group, and as he continues to grow, Taras is gonna be all maned up, looking like Leo, looking like Gino, looking like some of our other former male rescued lions. But hey, you might be saying, well, we haven't seen the lion cubs on a live post here in a little bit of time. And if you recall, Tammy mentioned on a Wildcat wrap-up about a week ago, 2 weeks ago now, that Taras, who's coming in hot right here, had been favoring one of his front legs. I can't recall if it was the right or left, but he had been favoring one of his legs, and we wanted the Urkraine Pride to take it easy so Mr. Taras could get past that limp. And so the Urkraine Prides had limited access, getting access to their full habitat at certain times of the day. So glad that officially Mr. Taras is over that limp, and caretakers have deemed that they can have full access to their habitat 24/7, just like they're used to. So glad to see and hear, as you just saw Mr. Taras peeling out back there, and hear that all is well for that big guy. But these guys are having some fun with some durable cardboard tubes. That looks like Lacia, who is proudly walking around with her tube. Prada and Stephania. Here's Mr. Taras again. Prada and Stephania are up in their shift where some of those tubes were placed. I'm sure they'll eventually make their way around. Prada's now out in the free roaming habitat. Let's see what's happening in the comments. Melanie C. Yay! Finally caught alive. Glad to have you, Melanie. Glad to have you. There goes Stephania, joining her brother Taras. See what these two goofballs are up to. Gino's across the way enjoying a blood sickle as well. Temps are kind of peaking for the week tomorrow. Mid-80s today, upper 80s tomorrow. I'm sure that's a temp that probably many of you across the United States are familiar with, and then some. Let's see here, Miss Stephanie. Let me get into the comments here. See how everybody's doing. Hanging out with the Urkraine Pride today. Truth to tell, we're coming off. Hey, Miss Stephanie. We're coming off TikTok live that Olivia just did. A tremendous live with Leo and Mansa. Hung out with a few other rescues as well, and doing exactly what we want to do, helping kind of spread the good word of the Wildcat Sanctuary. Is that a butterfly, Stephania? Trying to spread the good word of the Wildcat Sanctuary to all ears possible, and leveraging our presence on social media platforms is of the utmost importance, so we can make a difference for our rescues. So Olivia just kicked butt on TikTok. And hoping that we're going to be integrating that platform in a little bit more. We want to get some Instagram lives rolling. But darn it, we have these big aspirations, but it's always that internet getting in the way. But we're not going to let that stop us now. Stephania going to join Lacia and see if she's willing to share her cardboard tube enrichment. Obviously, all of the pride. There's more than enough cardboard tubes to go around. Taras has got... Hey Paul, how you doing? Glad to have you with us on this live post. Getting into some more comments here. Let me zoom in on a lion or two. Linda giving some stars. Thank you for those stars, Linda. Oh, look at the Urkraine Pride. Just another day in the life. Compassionate living, courtesy of your support. Could use a better angle from the grass is getting tall in that part of the yard. Natty Morales, thank you for those 50 stars. Much appreciated. And Linda O, giving 50 stars as well. Susan Mensa complimenting the TikTok live, saying it was fun. Glad to have you on there, Susan. Getting TWS from all angles. Kathy B, it's been in the upper thousands down here. You're down in Florida. I do not deny it. I can only imagine what the southern heat is like. We get it bad up here in Minnesota. That humidity can compete with you guys, but yowzer. But when you get in the triple digits, wow. We're not looking at triple digits here in Minnesota, but we're still looking at warm temps. And we're armed to the teeth with blood sickles. We're getting pools cleaned and filled. We're making sure that we have alternative water sources. I can think of a cat like Baby, where we're not worried about Baby chewing anything or very simply kind of picking up a maybe plastic water dish that we put in there. So there's some senior cats that will even add extra water sources beyond the water buckets that you're used to seeing attached to the wall. It's kind of circumstantial with which cat isn't going to be obviously chewing up a water bowl that we were to put in there that's not attached to something. Prada's joining the fun, kicking off things a bit here. He says, I'll come and put a spark under everybody. Going back and forth here to keep the lions in frame behind a patch of trees. Wow, I hope I'm pronouncing that. Wow, Marcos, saying hi to the most beautiful animals in the world, the lions. I can agree with that. They are quite beautiful. 41 in New Hampshire, says Marcy Sanborn. Share some of that with us. Hey, Jenny Wire, getting excited about the lion cubs. Loving their tubes, those hard, durable cardboard tubes that they're each enjoying in their own space. I see Prada's now up enjoying the one Lacia was. Taras, Stefania, and Lacia are back behind their little cabana with another tube. They're a hit, and thank you for that, Jenny. We love those durable tubes because, as you can imagine, a lion cub takes a durable toy. Speaking of which, there's one of those tubes. That's Lacia. Looking at a few more comments here. I can even see Taras's mane from here, but I'll just reintroduce everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're tuned in live to the Wildcat Sanctuary, hanging out with the Urkraine Pride. I hadn't seen the Urkraine Pride on a live post as Taras of the Urkraine Pride had been favoring one of his front legs. I believe it was his front right leg. That goofball twisting around on his belly right now. Caretakers had been giving us so Mr. Taras could heal up and get over that limp. He's since gotten over that limp, and it's back to business as usual for the Urkraine Pride. Maria P saying, makes my day to see these cubs. Couldn't agree more. That's always one of the special things about working here at the Wildcat Sanctuary is anytime you need a recharge. There is 130 plus cats here to help kind of refill your cup, if you will. And for you guys to be able to check in and get that type of satisfaction on a live post, man, that's kind of exactly what I'm looking for with your guys' relationship, is for you to understand how important you are and for you to get that gratification and satisfaction at thinking about these lion cubs came from war-torn Ukraine, traveled halfway across the world, from a different continent to get here to the Wildcat Sanctuary, and now they're living like this. Man, that is what it's all about. Hey, Christina Snyder, glad to have you with us. Lots of roly-poly lions this morning. Jeannie Curry keeps losing signal. That's no fun. Sorry about that. Judy Simon saying 200 stars for the Pride. Thank you for that, Judy. Very much appreciated. I'll maybe try to get a little closer to the building. I'm going to try, but I think I'm going to get stalked by a pretty Prada first here. Oh, not before she stops and finds another tube. And zoom. The consummate stalkers. Red light, green light. I think that's the game that every single big cat here at the Wildcat Sanctuary likes to play. And they like to show us just how keen predators that they truly are, and give us those reminders that, Prada, you are a bona fide lioness. And man, oh man, we love to see those wild traits, and we love to respect you for those wild traits. Paul Stringer is asking, how long did the cats have limited access for Taras to get over his limp? I think it was about 2 weeks. And they're getting, like I said, limited access, so they'd have access to their shift. They're given access to their large habitat at specific times of the day. But again, just wanting to limit that mobility, as you can see in the background, left to their own devices. It's go, 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 go for the Lion Pride. And we love that. We love that. But obviously, if Taras has a limp, and we don't want him to have kind of a larger issue, just like you would do at home, you just take it easy. Lay low for a bit until you get over it, and glad that the Pride's back out in their free roaming habitat. Ooh, pretty Prada. Pretty Prada. Patricia A. saying Prada is gorgeous. She certainly is. Gorgeous. Gorgeous and a goofball. I love Prada. She just is one of those cats who always makes me smile. Sheila Cornsmith pointing out they're growing up so fast, these lion cubs, that they are. It's amazing to see. I mean, choose your phrase. They're growing like weeds. I mean, it's amazing to see how quickly these lion cubs are becoming full-blown lions. Of course, thanks to things like the awesome diet that they're receiving, making sure they're getting all their vitamins and minerals that a growing lion would need. And happy that they're here at Sanctuary, so we can ensure during these kind of, integral years of these lions becoming adults that they're getting exactly what they need, all the vitamins, minerals, nutrients, setting them up for a happy and healthy, wild-at-heart life. Because that's what we did when we said yes to these cubs. They're cubs now. They're turning into adults, as I'm just talking about. That's 20 plus years. That's a lifetime commitment to Miss Prada, Miss Stefania. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Goofy. Taras. Absolutely incredible. Let me see if I kneel down. Yeah, I like that. You'll see someone sauntering through the background. Lacey or Stefania. It gets to a point where I'm as you guys I'm sure can sympathize with, we can identify Prada, we can identify Taras with that mane. It takes a little bit more precision to get the two sisters down. Yeah, we're hanging out pretty Prada. Let me get into the comments here. Today's Wednesday too, everyone. And as you know, as we've coined, it's Wishlist Wednesday. We're going to be posting our Amazon wish list soon. It's full of more than a handful of items that don't just help the cats, they also help the people who help the cats. Things in there for the office staff, things in there for the caretakers. And as always, we appreciate you guys helping us out in that way, among the many ways that you support us here at TWS. I'll be posting that later, but I always like giving a little bit of a heads up. Speaking of heads up, but giving a heads up if anybody wants to jump the gun, so to speak, and check out the list for themselves before we post. Pretty goofball. I have to admit, I always try to chuff at the lion pride, but you're not a tiger, you're a lion, and I'm not gonna roar at you because you'll probably roar back at me. Everybody's just content with their tubes. One tube that looks like Taras, another tube. I'm going to hazard a guess. It's looking like Stephania way back in her cabana there. I mean, and I just love getting a look at the lion's habitat here. I think it's just really gives some great perspective as to what we like prioritizing for our cats. Obviously, the first thing you see is a lot of free roaming space. A lot of choices for the cats to go wherever the heck they want within their habitat. And then we want the cats to, be able to feel like lions. So we give them perches and platforms so they can get up high, survey over their domain. Obviously, they get to get that wild at heart feel when they're interacting with their habitat, which is natural. And we like to have trees and bushes, and it certainly may look overgrown, but it's not overgrown. Kind of selectively mowed, if you will. Admittedly, the lions have been doing a good job at mowing themselves. And just a variety of options for our rescues. Then you start looking a little closer in the habitat, you'll see toys. You'll see all the different trappings that really just come together to make a wild at heart life for the cats. Let's see, everyone. It looks like it's very pixelated according to a few followers, so I'm going to go all the way around. It'll get me a little closer to the building. And we'll see if we can finish out the post with some tighter pixels instead of it looking like Super Mario for everyone. Because that's no fun. Bear with me while I make the trek around their free roaming habitat. I'd always give some scale too. And speaking of which, I wouldn't be able to make a trek around the lion habitat without being stalked. Pretty Miss Prada. Marilyn Grant commenting, wow, they got so big and beautiful. Well, they're always beautiful. They've certainly got big. I kid, Marilyn. You're exactly right. They're getting larger and even more beautiful. Shoom, off she goes. Someone asking, is Gino still out and across the way? He is. Mr. Gino is. And I saw him snacking down on a blood sickle, so I think that would be a smart idea to go check in with that dude. Let's see who we have here. Some tomfoolery happening in and out of the shift. Taras on one side, Lacia on the other. Stephania staying right where she wants to be and hanging on to her cardboard tube. Looks like Prada is saying, hey, are you willing to share with a sibling? Hoping things are a little less pixelated for everyone. But happy to be hanging out with the Lion Pride today, everybody. Christina Snyder asking, what is the temperature today? Christina, I thought today was going to be kind of the crest of the temperature, the peak of it rather, but it's going to be in the mid 80s today, upper 80s tomorrow. So it was originally forecasted to be in the 90s, still might tick up into the 90s, fingers and toes crossed that it doesn't, but mid 80s today and upper 80s tomorrow. Prada, how many times have you rolled on this post? Okay, much better. People are reporting on the resolution. Good to hear, everyone. Good to hear. I'll tell you what, I'm feeling that sun on my face. Much better, everyone. Perfect. Nice to take a breath and get some good old lion time in. Looking through a few more comments. Paul Stringer saying, my wife and I enjoy these lives. That's awesome, Paul. We love that. It's so cool to hear how people enjoy the live. Some people kind of listen to them as, when they're driving. Some people will even throw it up on their TV with like AirPlay or something like that, which would be pretty fun. Maybe not when it's so pixelated like this, Miss Prada. But nonetheless, glad to hear that. Thank you, Paul. And I'll walk over and just show you of Taras and Lacia are kind of going in and out of their shift, playing peekaboo with one another. Speaking of playing peekaboo, here comes Miss Prada. Yeah, I hear you, pretty lady. We're cruising. I used to walk along the habitat wall with a very wise lioness, and it reminds me of that. Her name was Shanti Diva. So I like walking along the habitat wall with a pretty lioness. Yeah, she says, is that me? Brings back some good memories. So here's a shift yard. There's a door, obviously, where they can get 24/7 access. But Taras and Miss Lacia here kind of treating it as a little easy place to play peekaboo with each other. One running through the door, kind of batting at the other one through the fence, and then vice versa. Yeah, you guys are always up to no good, Miss Prada. Always up to no good and making their own fun. And also, I do laugh at how a lot of the toys are brought into the yard and eventually make their way back into the shifts. The cats always just kind of set these little agendas for themselves and giving themselves little tasks and challenges, which we also love. And to see a lot of the balls and toys getting brought back into the shifts. Shoom. Yeah, Trosh, you got a tube? And you're getting some water here, pretty lady? This is wee Lacia. Not so clear picture, says Sherry. Well, maybe we'll go around the bend. Maybe we'll go around the bend and check in on Gino and see if we get any better. See if we get any better service. I'm having to keep an eye on pretty Prada here. Kim K saying the Cubs seem to have a lot of fun, and I think that is putting it mildly. These guys are having a party every single moment of the day. It's always a hoot. Lois A asking, has the Pride begun caroling yet? Well, Mr. Taras, we have not heard a bona fide lion carol from the Urkraine Pride yet. But rest assured, that is going to be kind of the shot heard around the world, if you will. We are going to be screaming at probably just as loud as the lions about how cool it will be for kind of them to engage in their first lion song. Well, hey, pretty lady. Here comes your sister. Speaking of vocalizations, speaking of vocalizations, yeah, Happy as a clam. Oh, you too. You 4. It's fun to be a Cub, says Maria. That's what it seems like. I was looking at a few comments. Miss Prada. Hola, Soraya. Good to see you on here. I feel like I haven't seen you on a post in a while. Okay, Lisa Parker saying we have good reception. Prada, you're ripping up the grass like that. You can't do that. Yeah, I'm not that exciting that you need to rip up grass like that. I think we'll give the Pride one final hello and goodbye, and we'll go around the corner and see if we can see what Gino and I'm sure Sophie's up on her platform too. You lions, I tell ya. You lions. What a good dose that we got with the Pride today. Awesome, awesome. All right, pretty Pride. We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon. How many rolls can Prada do in one live post? She says, let me do one more. Oh, fun, fun, fun. Off and away we go. We've been hanging out live here at the Wildcat Sanctuary, visiting with some of our rescued residents. That's the Urkraine Pride, who we just saw. Living another wonderful day of wild at heart life at the sanctuary. And look at who we have here. Another free-roaming habitat. And another wonderful rescued resident. That is Lioness Sophie. Way, way back under her perch or platform. And Sophie is a very special cat in terms of, she's probably one of our least social big cats that we currently have, which means that we kind of tailor our care to Sophie accordingly. And that also means that I tailor my human presence accordingly. And I know that Sophie isn't too keen on humans. I know that we all want to see Sophie and spend time with her, but I won't, I won't overstay my welcome with a cat like Sophie. And this is an awesome distance, too, to hang out with her and give her all the space she needs and let her kind of do things on her own terms. If she wants to walk away or walk towards me, she gets to make the decision. Pretty lady. Look at all the highs you're getting, Miss Sophie. Look at all the beautiful hellos for a beautiful lioness. Miss Special Lady, we're going to go around the bend and see if we can find your son, Mr. Gino. Yeah. All right, pretty girl. Yeesh, I might have to do a little bushwhacking. Take the long way here. Pandora has a blood sickle. Fingers crossed, everyone. Let's do it as a collective here, that I don't lose service as I kind of take a wide berth. Okie dokie. But we're here in our Pride Prairie area. The sanctuary being divided into different sections with different central animal buildings locating them with the free-roaming habitats attached. And it's always cool to get context of, you're looking at the live post on the ground, but you're maybe looking at the surroundings and you're wondering, well, where exactly is Judson? He keeps on saying Pride Prairie, Roar Ridge, this and that, but where exactly is he? We have a really cool drone tour that's posted on our About page on our website. It'll give you some context, some scale, the magnitude of the sanctuary and what it takes to house 130 plus rescues. Oh, let's see what Miss Pandora's doing with her blood sickle. She says, it's blood sickle time for a pretty tigress. Ever heard of it? Yummy, yummy, yummy. And, you know, I think a lot of us, you know, across the country, we're talking about the heat. We're all experiencing the heat kind of in different degrees. And, you know, if you were to drop into the Wildcat Sanctuary on days like today, it's all about making sure that the cats are staying cool and happy and safe, most importantly, too. And so Miss Pandora, you can see her snacking on a bloodsicle, helping cool her down. Gino behind us, looks like he's still snacking on a bloodsicle, so we'll be going over there. And just all the different ways that you guys have seen on live posts, on photos that we implement to make sure our cats are staying happy, healthy, and cool and safe during these hot times. And Pandora says, it keeps me cool, and I'll tell you what, it tastes good too. It tastes good. And Pandora does have a pool. They keep it a little bit farther back in her habitat as there's no faucet like there is with some of the other pools. But Pandora certainly is a swimmer as well. And it's good to see you licking your chops, pretty lady. That is the thing about when we see cats enjoying bloodsickles, like we'll see with Gino here, and like we saw with Pandora, they are pretty focused on what they're doing. Usually we get a lot of cat butts and cat heads, but that just means we got a happy cat on our hands. And I wouldn't blame anyone for looking at Gino from behind and mistaking him for Fabio with that head of hair that he has. Gino and Sophie are what are called white lions, which is an entire issue unto itself, particularly in South Africa, with these white lions being bred for their looks, ending up in things like bottle feeding, cub petting, like we used to see in the United States before the Public Safety Act, and then even worse, ending up in canned hunts, and then just being exported to unscrupulous facilities around the world. But nonetheless, Mr. Gino, you do have a pretty mane, and good to give a little context to why you are so pretty, mister. I think that's one thing that's maybe kind of overlooked or forgotten about Gino and Sophie and Kimba as well, is that they weren't born in Argentina, where they were rescued from. They were born in South America. And they're, like I mentioned, a part of a huge issue unto itself, a surplus of these lions being bred for cub petting and bottle feeding opportunities. Hey, Mr. Gino. Yeah, we like seeing that beautiful lion butt and that beautiful lion mane. Let me see if I can maybe find one more angle of a handsome man. Yeah, there's that handsome face. Yeah, that makes me so happy. Faith, I couldn't agree more. Perfection at any angle for Gino. Busy with his bloodsicle, that's right, Kim. And I like seeing that. He says, yeah, I see that there's some people here. I'm snacking. I'm keeping cool. Keeping cool, Mr. G. And a lot of hellos to that pretty man, too, so thank you for that. I'm going to zoom out. Looks like Pandora finished up with her bloodsicle. I'll maybe make a final turn around the corner to the Urkraine Pride. And I think we will call that a Facebook Live post for the day, everyone. I'm sweating. Sweating. But It is Wednesday, as I mentioned earlier, and I appreciate you guys clicking and checking out our Amazon wish list. Even if you're not able to shop it itself, a share goes a long way, so thank you for that. But kind of as I said at the beginning of the week, it's kind of a quiet week for the most part. We wrapped up our Fill the Freezer fundraiser, and obviously are very appreciative of you guys contributing towards that. Maybe interested to see if Tammy has any special news to share tomorrow during her Wildcat wrap-up. So that'll be tomorrow, Thursday, 1 p.m., Tammy's Wildcat wrap-up. And interested to see maybe what news she shares there. But also, hey, this is exciting, and I should have been beating the drum on this all week, is that the Wildcat Sanctuary is going to be at the Cat Film Festival in St. Paul. The Minnesota Cat Film Festival takes place every year, and the Wildcat Sanctuary is proud to have a booth down there, and we actually make a submission too. You'll be able to see the cats up on the big screen. But Olivia and one of our media interns is going to be there, and that is tomorrow night at CHS Field. It's put on by My Talk. I'll have to remember their call sign, but check that out. That's the Minnesota Cat Film Festival. The Wildcat Sanctuary would be there, and we love seeing our supporters in person. And even better, we get to kick back and watch some funny and cute cat videos all night. I think that sounds like a night to remember, if you ask me. So I'll give another reminder on that tomorrow. But nonetheless, hey, have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Thanks for tuning into the Wildcat Sanctuary today. Thank you for doing all that you do for our rescues, and we will see you back here tomorrow.